for joining. I know it's at the end of a work day, and I appreciate your time and your interest to learn more about PMI Infinity. Um, as Daniela introduced me, my name is Cristina. I'm a product operations specialist at PMI, and I work with Product Infinity, supporting it with product research on the engagement side, telling people about Infinity and how they can use it and how they can leverage it. So that's what we're going to do in the next hour approximately. I do have a few things planned. First, I will share my screen. I have just two quick questions on a Slido, if you don't mind. It would be really helpful for me to know sort of what is your experience with AI, Gen AI, and with Infinity, if any. So we'll be asking you a few questions. Then I have just a couple of slides introducing Infinity if you don't know it. And then we're going to jump into the practical side, which is the application. And I'm going to show you some of the features and then some examples of how you can leverage it. And then at the end, we'll have some time for questions and answers. So hopefully that works for everyone. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat. I might not be able to see them as I'm sharing my screen, but we'll get to them at the end. And then obviously, if there's any issues or anything during the demo, Daniela, you can just let me know. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and ask you all if you would be kind enough to join this Slido. So you can join either at slido.com with the code, or if you can scan this QR code here. There are only two questions, so hopefully this will go fast. But I'm interested to know if you are using AI, Gen AI, in your day-to-day work. So again, if you can take part in this Slido and provide your responses. Thank you. Okay, so it's a good mix, a good balance, and I see so far people are using AI, Gen AI regularly or sometimes. There's some that haven't. That's okay too. Maybe you can start with PMI Infinity. Right. Thank you for participating. Thank you for answering. I appreciate that. Just going to move to the next question, which is about your familiarity with PMI Infinity. So if you're maybe familiar with it and have used it, maybe you have just heard about it, but you haven't used it, or you're not at all familiar with it, that would be also helpful to know. Okay, so most of you are not familiar with it, or you are familiar but haven't used it. And that's really helping me sort of know in how much detail I need to go through, like during the demo, what to focus on. So knowing that most of you are not at all familiar with it, that's important. So I can really walk you through the main functionality as well before I'm sharing some of the use cases. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing this now, but really appreciate your participation. And I just might have one more question at the end of the presentation if we still have time. All right, so let me share the few slides that I have. Hopefully you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Does it work?
Yes, we can see also the menu from the above, but I don't know if it's in a slideshow or not.
Yeah, it's just I can maybe make it a slideshow. Is that
Yes, good.
that work better? Okay. All right. Wonderful. So, yeah, here we are talking about PMI Infinity, what we want to call your AI power project coach. So, really Gen AI chat tool that has much more functionality than just the chat. It's powered by multiple leading AI models, and it's based on PMI's global standards. But really, you can think about it as a AI project management coach that is available to you 24/7, and you can use it to learn things, to ask it questions. It can help you generate documents, and really be a partner as you work through your day-to-day project management tasks. We launched Infinity a few years back. I believe in 2023 was the first beta launched. And since then, we have really made updates to it and improved it. And actually, just recently, we launched some new updates, and some of them you see on the screen. One of them is that now Infinity is powered by multiple leading AI models, and it's really using the best model to provide you with the most impactful response to your request. Also, the fact that we have just recently launched agents, and I will show you in a few minutes in Infinity, but with the help of these agents, you will be able to create some of the project documentation that you run across into your projects, and that's all based on PMI standards. And the third thing that I want to call out is that PMI Infinity is available now in the PMI mobile app. So if you didn't know, PMI has a mobile app. This was launched sometime in the summer, and now you can access PMI Infinity in the mobile app. I do want to call out, though, that PMI Infinity is a PMI member benefit. So if you are a PMI member, this is available to you as part of your membership benefit, and you can access it and get the full scope of PMI Infinity, the full experience with your membership. If you are not a PMI member and you have not experienced PMI membership before, there is a way to have access to Infinity with the free membership trial. So this is valid for 30 days. You can experience some select benefits of PMI membership, and PMI Infinity is one of them. So you can sign up for the free trial. You have a QR code here, but I'm going to show you another way to get to that page in a moment. So this is another way to try out some of the benefits, including Infinity, and see if this might be something you want to continue having access to and sign up for a PMI membership. So the last slide that I have here, it has a lot of information about Infinity and some of these features, and we don't have to go through all of it now because I'll actually show you those features in the application in a moment. But there are a few things that I want to call out, and one of the most important ones is that PMI Infinity is based on PMI global standards and knowledge base. That's what powers Infinity. Your responses, the outputs that Infinity provides, are all grounded in that knowledge base. So think about the PMI standards, practice guides, the PMBOK guide, our knowledge library, and some content from third party or from our community, but content that has been vetted. So you can really trust the output that PMI Infinity provides you. And as you will see in the moment, Infinity also cites the sources that it used for each response for you to be able to validate that. Another thing that I want to mention is that Infinity keeps your data safe, as you see here. So we do not share your inputs or outputs with any third parties or with any other providers, and you can always delete your interactions with Infinity, your conversations, and they are completely removed from Infinity. And I will also show you during the demo how to do that. All right, so let me switch screens for a moment, and I will start the demo part.
Until then, I just want to have a mention. Thank you so much. The first question is in the chat, Cristina, but at the end, as we discussed earlier, Daniela, thank you for your questions. For your question, we'll take them at the end if it's okay for you also, because maybe Cristina will go through all these questions in the demo.
Yeah, thank you. I don't have access to the chat as I'm sharing my screen. So yeah, I'll make sure to go through your questions at the end. But to get started, I just wanted to show you one of the ways in which you can access Infinity. So start with PMI's homepage, pmi.org. If you go under resources, you can see here the PMI Infinity AI tool. And if you click on that, it will take you to the Infinity landing page. So obviously you can browse through the page. If you want to learn more about Infinity, you can see some testimonials as well from people that have used Infinity. But basically, in order to access it, you have these two options here. This is the link to sign up for the 30-day free membership trial that I just mentioned in case you are not a PMI member. If you are a member, you can click here, Launch Infinity, and it will take you to the landing page. You can put in your credentials that are associated with your PMI membership, and you will be taken to Infinity. There's a way to access it from your My PMI dashboard as well, but I think this may be the most straightforward way to access Infinity. All right. So here it is. This is the homepage where you can already start interacting with Infinity, and I have a few prompts prepared that I am going to just copy in the chat so that I can show you how it works. So here I'm asking Infinity, I'm telling it that I'm a project manager working on a project to launch a new eco-friendly water bottle. And I'm asking Infinity to list all stakeholders that would typically be involved in this project and conduct an influence and interest matrix to prioritize engagement strategies. And I'm asking it to provide the results in a table format. And one thing that is important with Infinity, but basically with any Gen AI chat experience, is how you write your prompt. And PMI actually has a course on prompt engineering that I believe it's free. So I encourage you to take it because it's a 45-minute course, and you will get tips and tricks and different formats that you can use with your prompting so that you get the most out of the responses. Here, I actually used the RTF format, which is role task format. That's a structure that you can use for creating your prompt. So for the role, what I did is I said I am a project manager and gave it a little bit of information on the project that I'm working on. For the task, this is what I told to list all stakeholders and conduct the influence and interest matrix. And format, I told it to provide the results in a table format. But depending on what you're asking it, you can, for the format, you can say different things. Like if you're asking, for example, to write an email, you can specify the tone or things like that. So just to put in a little bit of thought on how you are providing the prompt so that you can get the most out of it. And then Infinity will provide you with the response as we are seeing here. As you can see, it's listing the stakeholders as I asked. And then it's giving me the influence and interest metrics in a table format as I wanted it. So a few things that I wanted to call out and sort of show you about Infinity and some of the things that you saw on the slide there is that Infinity does provide the sources that power the response. So the response here that you see is based on these three sources: the PMI guide, eighth edition, the practice guide, the process groups practice guide, and the standard for earned value management. So whenever possible, it will provide the sources so that you can go and validate. If you want to do some deeper exploration on the topic through one of the sources, you can do that. So you can click on any of them. It will open the source in a new window for you. So if it's a practice guide or a PMI guide, it will take you to the button to download it, and you can see here it even provides you with the page. So you can go and do a deeper exploration. And it also provides you with related prompts on the topic. So this is around stakeholder engagement. So you have some different prompts here. If you asked Infinity to provide you with the results in a table format, for example, you can see here this little arrow that actually allows you to download the table in an Excel format. So as you can see here, it generated the Excel. You can download it, and it will be saved on your computer in the download space. You can also, and this would be helpful for us if you do, let us know if your answer was helpful or not helpful with a thumbs up or thumbs down. And you also have the possibility to click copy if you want to copy and paste your response somewhere else. So you can continue. You can, if you are interested in one of the related prompts, you can launch them with a click. You can type in a follow-up question, or if you want to start a new chat, you can go here under new chat, and then Infinity will start a new chat, and you can already ask a new question. So another way that we hear a lot from people that are using Infinity, another way to leverage it, and a lot of people do that, is for communication, stakeholder communication, from email writing to status reports, to verify different emails or the tone of different emails. So that's another way to utilize Infinity. So in this case, I'm asking it to help me write an email to stakeholders. And again, giving it some details about our app development project. We just completed phase 1, and we just want to outline the steps for phase 2. And as I mentioned before, the more context that you give it, the more suitable, the more tailored the response will be. So I'm giving it inclusively the tone, which should be, in this case, professional and engaging, and it will help me draft the email. And obviously, you can take this email and then update it based on your needs and the details that you might have about your project that you might not have shared in your prompt, but it can give you a good starting point for that. Also, what you can do is, if you, let's say, wrote the prompt, saw the response, but you realized, oh, I forgot to add something in the prompt. So maybe I want to ask stakeholders to provide the feedback by December 1st. So you can edit your prompt, you can click submit, and then Infinity will revise its response based on the new information that you provided it. So you can do that by altering the prompt, or you can put in here, like, for example, if Infinity provided you with a table of, you may wanted to ask it to add some additional columns or things like that, and it will do that for you. So you can do it in the conversation, or you can adjust the prompt, and you can see it has the original response here and the latest response here. So you can also compare them. What I also want to call out, so these are different ways to use the chat functionality, and you can use it to ask it questions, as I mentioned, to have Infinity work with you side by side. But you can also take advantage of the upload functionality. So you could upload text and PDF files in Infinity, and you can ask then Infinity to either summarize them or analyze them or take other actions on them. For example, let's say I am going to add some files here that I prepared. I'm going to upload them into Infinity. Okay, maybe we'll just add one more. and then ask it based on the project overview and the sprint retrospective that I uploaded, asking it to identify some actionable insights to improve agile delivery, backlog management, and team collaboration. These are just some examples, but you can, for example, upload some meeting minutes and ask Infinity to provide you with next steps and allocate people that are responsible for different tasks, or what we've heard people doing, like if they were in a meeting where they discussed project requirements, for example, they uploaded the minutes from that meeting, asked Infinity to create the requirements. You can give it specific details on how you want it to act, and then maybe from those requirements you can ask it to create user stories. So there are different ways it can summarize the information in a document for you. So it's really up to you, and I encourage you to experiment with this and have it help you in your day-to-day based on that. So yeah, you can work with it. So it provided some actionable insights based on the information. And again, you can continue and ask it to do different things. Now, I mentioned before that in Infinity, it's possible all the time to delete your interactions. So, for example, let's say you want to delete this chat because, I don't know, maybe the information that you shared is not something that you wanted to have here visible, and you can go ahead and do that. Here you have the recent items. You can view more if you click on this link, and then you have these three dots here. So you can go and you can rename your chats. So if you want to go back to some chats and you want to find them more easily, you can rename them, or you can delete them. That action is definitive. So if you deleted a chat, you cannot take it back, because then it will be completely deleted from Infinity. But there's a way that you can do that. I want to now switch a little bit and go to the menu here. I already actually started with deleting the conversations, but I want to draw your attention to the prompt library. So if you are new to Infinity, as many of you are, maybe you don't know what to ask it, you don't have anything in mind, here are some sample prompts that you can use, and these are very action oriented, just to see what Infinity can do for you. These were vetted by and put together by our community. We have some featured prompts here at the top, but then we also have them clustered by topics. So you can go into any of the topics and you'll see we have a couple of prompts for each topic. And what you can do, you can simply maybe launch a prompt from here. So here I'm launching this prompt, and Infinity will react to it. But what you can also do is take this prompt sort of as a starting point and then provide additional information so that you get a more customized response. If you don't do that, actually, Infinity will interact with you. So it's not just going to give you a canned response that is the same for everyone, but it will ask you if you could share more details, sort of the scope of the project, the type of requirements, so that it can customize the response that it gives you. So again, just work with it and provide it with more information. You can also go back to it and say, I just want just like a template for the requirement traceability matrix, and that's okay too. But you can really work with it so that you get a more tailored response that is really more suitable for your needs and for what you want to accomplish in Infinity. So again, you can go back and you can explore the prompt library and use this as a starting point if you don't have anything else that is like really specific that you want to get from Infinity. And I also want to show you the agents, which is something that I mentioned at the beginning, something new that we launched in Infinity recently. And these are really like smart assistants that can work with you and help you create some of the project documentation and make it more easier for you to get this done. So we have a few agents that are available that can help you create a project charter, a RACI chart, a risk management plan, and a stakeholder management plan. So I'm going to show you how this works. So let's say we take the project charter generator and we start the chat. And you will see that Infinity will tell you, will ask you for some information again to help create a project charter. So if you have some details to share about the project scope, the objectives, or the stakeholder, and you can also work with Infinity and tell it if you prefer to create a document faster. So that means you provide it with the information and Infinity generates the document, or if you sort of want more recommendations and guidance, in which case Infinity will tell you sort of what is missing, what information is missing for the project charter to be more complete. But I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm going to add some project information into Infinity. So you can see here, I added, I'll actually launch so that Infinity can think as you read through. So I provided some context about the project. What is the scope? What are the objectives? And some of the stakeholders. So you can share as much information as you want or as you have available at that point. And if you don't tell Infinity that you want more recommendation or more guidance, it will go ahead and it will generate a document for you. And I'm going to show you in a moment what that document looks like. And then you can continue to have this conversation and provide if more information becomes available on the timeline, budget, and things like that. And I'm going to show you that in a moment. So I'm just going to download the project charter. And I'm going to open it. Let me stop sharing so that I can actually share the project charter. So you can see what Infinity put together with just that little piece of information that I provided. So it gave me the purpose of the project charter, an overview of the project purpose and business case. It took the objectives that I gave it and added some smart success criteria. It included the high-level project description, what is in scope for this project, what is out of scope, some key deliverables. It took the stakeholders and added roles and responsibility for each of them and a description for them. Obviously, there is some data that it doesn't have, like timeline and milestones and budget, because we didn't provide that information. It included assumptions, constraints, some high-level risks, and a glossary at the end. So this is everything that Infinity put together, and you can always use this, obviously, not something that you will straight away maybe send to your stakeholder or to your sponsor, but as a starting point, you can take that back to your team, and you can refine it with the information that you have. If you have maybe additional details that you want to provide, then Infinity can amend that for you. So let's say here is some information about the timeline, and we put that information in there, and then it will work to incorporate that information in the project charter that it provided. So it will generate another document. And then what is great is that if let's say you created the project charter, now it's reviewing the document, it's basically adding the information that it was missing. But let's say you want to then create a stakeholder management plan for the same project. So you can go to the chat, and again, it will be the initial same interaction where it will ask you more about the project. And what you can do is you can go and upload the project charter, and you can say use this project charter for the project details. And then it will use that as a starting point and then draft a stakeholder management plan for you, which you can then download, and again use it as a starting point. Take it back to your team, refine it, and then potentially share it with your stakeholders or whoever needs to be informed about that. We also have some tutorials, but we are in the process of updating this. So these right now match sort of the previous interface and previous functionality of Infinity. If you click the link, that will take you to our YouTube channel. So you can see there's some use cases about how you can work with Infinity, maybe for a challenge that you may have in your project, or something that you might not know. Maybe you want to ask it for advice on how to deal with a specific situation. You will see some examples of that in the tutorials, but as I mentioned, we are in the process of updating those. Yeah, so with the stakeholder management plan, as you see, it incorporated some of the information, and then it's talking to you about some next steps, like reviewing the document, add any missing information, and work with Infinity to refine it. Hopefully that got you a little bit excited, and you want to explore Infinity even further. If you do get to Infinity and if you interact with it, and if you want to submit some feedback, you can do that here. So if you go to the bottom of your screen and you see this question mark here, if you click on it, you will have access to the FAQs for Infinity, the release notes, and also a feedback form. So you can let us hear how satisfied you are with Infinity and anything specific that you want to call out, maybe if something isn't working or if you have any ideas for improvements. We really want to hear from you. We value feedback. We want to build Infinity so that it serves you and help you drive project success and solve day-to-day challenges that you face in your role. So your feedback is really important to us. This was, I guess, what I had prepared, just a few use cases, just to show you what you can do. Obviously, there are many more ways to leverage Infinity. Maybe some of you have any experience with that. And if you have, I invite you to also share that in the chat. We're working to organize more webinars also on projectmanagement.com to bring more SMEs to talk about use cases, about how they're leveraging PMI Infinity. But hopefully you got some ideas from the webinar today. So yeah, let me see if I
Thank you so
see
much,
maybe just
Cristina.
a few
Yes,
questions. Yeah.
yes. Let's take the first question if you want.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can scroll through them.
yes.
Um, so yes, we're working to put all our latest information into Infinity, such as the PMBOK guide and CPMAI methodology. I know we had that included. I don't know if you have the latest one, but it should be there, or if not, will probably be in Infinity soon. So I don't know if we have just everything that is really current with CPMAI, but I can check on that. Typically, yes, all our knowledge base gets fed into Infinity, PMBOK guides, practice guides, all of that. So it is a process. So as new things launch, they will gradually be added as well. Um, All right, I see, Daniela, thank you for adding the link to the prompt engineering course. And By the way, there are a few other courses out there that you might wanna explore. And some of them are free for everyone, actually. Some are free for members, some are free for everyone, and they can really help you with in your journey to explore AI and Gen AI. So I invite you to go and see what those courses are. Go and check out the thought leadership, because we have some interesting reports on AI and specifically for project professionals. So make sure you visit that. Yes, right now we only have PDF and a document format supported in Infinity. You can upload only that at the moment. Um, you can get the output if you have a table and you want to download it in Excel, but at the moment you cannot upload Excel documents. You can upload doc and text and PDF documents. It will be helpful for users to be able to create additional agents. Yeah, thank you. That's a good feedback, and I think we've heard that a couple of times. So appreciate you sharing that. It's important for us to know sort of what users value and what you want to see next in Infinity. So we're definitely taking all of that into consideration, and do stay tuned because we're constantly updating and improving Infinity. We're also doing in parallel a lot of research, talking to users, putting ideas and plans and concepts in front of people to collect feedback. So stay tuned, because you will see new and more things and improved experiences come up regularly throughout the year. Um, Yeah, somebody mentioned the practical application of generative AI for project managers. Yes, that's another course, and that one is really practical because it really plugs in a lot of AI tools, and it shows you step by step how you can leverage them to create a PowerPoint presentation or to create a news feed. So yeah, thank you for calling that out, and yeah, please go and explore that. Um, as we work on projects that involve data from the company we're part of, I feel reluctant to upload such data into PMI Infinity, and instead use the AI that is vetted by the company. I guess this would be a concern for many PMs regarding the use of internal data. What is PMI Infinity stand on that concern? Yeah, absolutely. That's very valid. And as I mentioned in the beginning, PMI Infinity is a secure environment in the sense that we do not utilize your data. We do not share it, so we don't train Infinity on the data. We don't share it with any third parties. You have the option of deleting your chats, your inputs into Infinity. However, I understand the concern, and with Gen AI, you always have to sort of try to abide by these best practices and never share things that are like strictly like confidential or sensitive information. That said, what I want to mention is that we're also working on developing Infinity for organizations. So that's something that is in the works. More information will be coming next year, but that is a potential solution to that. So at the organization level, the organization could adopt Infinity. That the experience will have some additional functionality that would be specific to PMOs and help them managing the project, the portfolio of projects across the organization. So right now we're gathering a lot of information on that and doing a lot of testing and research, and we'll come up with something more to share within next year. So stay close. If you believe your organization would be interested and would want to be part of the pilot, you can email me and I'll connect you to the right people on our team to start those conversations. Our colleagues were recently at Global Summit, and we realized there's a lot of interest on that. So again, if you believe that's something that your organizations may be interested in, you can drop me an email, and I can point you into the right direction so that you can continue to discuss that. All right. Is there a token limit on using Infinity, both the free trial and the full subscription access? So right now, yes, I believe there is on our end, but for users, you get like if you are a PMI member, you get the full Infinity experience. So you are not, we don't have at this moment at least any tiers or levels or certain features available. So right now, if you are a PMI member, you have access to Infinity. I'm not sure on the technical details in terms of tokens and things like that. I guess the worst that could happen is maybe it becomes slower if like everybody, then all the PMI members use it at once. But you should be safe to use it if you're a PMI member. You have access to the whole suite of functionality within Infinity. Um, this is a general question. As we now have AI in general and more specialized models for project managers like Infinity, can we say that it's easier for everyone to be a PM professional? Of course, I don't mean a full PM Pro, that comes with many other things, but I mean, at least it is easier now to bypass the basic documentation and knowledge. I think PMI Infinity is really meant to work in partnership with you. So yes, it can help you. It can provide recommendations. It can provide suggestions. It can work with you on creating documents. But I think what's important with any AI and Gen AI, and you probably hear that in other places as well, is that human in the loop element. So the as you know, no AI is perfect. No AI will know specifically all of your context, everything that you know about your project. So it's always important you can to use AI as a partner, but always verify. You always need to verify the information and tweak it and make sure it's something that you are comfortable with using and putting forward. You'll never take just the output from the AI and with no validation or with no feedback, just give it to someone else. So I think it can partner with you. I think it can help you learn. It can help you in research, in speeding up your access to information. But I think it is really important to keep that human in the loop, that verification aspect, that working with the AI in partnership in order to get the output that you need. And I think the more you are a project professional, the more you can get out of the Infinity because you know what to ask, you know how to judge a response and all of that. So hopefully that helps a little bit with that question or a comment more so than a question, I guess. Um, MCP support is something that our team is looking into, but I cannot say right now when or if that will happen. I know it's something that the team is looking into, and we hear feedback on integration. So yes, we have our own eyes on that, and we're evaluating. But I cannot tell you right now what the direction will be or if that will happen.
And I think we have one more questions up,
Oh,
but
sorry.
I don't know if we already. What useful features do you think PMI Infinity would need to add more value to the PM profession? Maybe this
Well,
is the questions for all of us. So,
exactly, exactly. That's an excellent question, and we would love to hear from you on that. Obviously, we have some things in the pipeline that we are working on how to better organize your chats in Infinity and the information in Infinity, and there are like more things, but we would love to hear from you. So also, if you want to be part of user testing for Infinity, you can also reach out to me, and we will let you know when we will open like a call for research participants. We're probably going to do that quarterly next year. So if you want to be part of that, absolutely, let me know. Feel free to use that feedback button in Infinity to let us know what features would be helpful. You can even use the chat function here. In case, I'm gonna put my email in the chat so that If you have any ideas or if you want to participate in research or user testing, we can make sure to include you. But yeah, we would love to hear. We have, as I mentioned, some ideas and some things that we'll be working on. But yeah, your feedback and what would make it easier for you to solve problems and challenges and deliver successful projects. That's something we would love to know. Uh,
Last questions.
Last
What is
question. Yeah, I think I've answered that. We're not sharing the data with any third party or the it PMI Infinity. We consider it a secure environment. So with that in mind, as I mentioned, there's that option for organizations that we are working on. But with Infinity, as I mentioned, even the documents that you upload in Infinity, we don't store those documents as you upload them. We sort of break them down to capture the context, but we don't have those stored as you upload them. And as I mentioned, we don't share the data with other providers or third party. It's a secure environment, but again, please also exercise sort of best practices when using Gen AI and stay away from uploading sensitive or confidential information into any tools, Infinity or any others. So and we will probably implement some more notifications or information within Infinity on that in the future to make it clearer, because it is a question that we do get quite often. Um, right, so I
it's
don't see any other question. I don't know if I missed anything. You do have my email address, so you can reach out if you have other questions, or as I mentioned, if you are interested on the B2B side to have a conversation, your organization would be interested to have a conversation with my colleagues. Um, I do want to ask
Oh, one more
uh,
question, Christina.
one more
Yes.
question.
And
Yeah.
I will add also the feedback form, but yes, you have one more question.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like based on what you heard today, if you would be exploring PMI Infinity, this would be helpful for us to know. If you don't mind going back into the Slido, if you have your phone or handy and you can um, switch screens, or if you're on the laptop, that would be helpful for us to know as a feedback. And yes, I believe Daniela will also be sharing a feedback form. And I definitely appreciate you sticking until the end and asking your questions. Um, and hopefully this was useful. You found some information that you can and take and apply, and it was a good use of your evening.
Very useful, Christina. I like very much that we can edit the prompt. It's just my maybe personal opinion, but and um, I know that it's also on the app now, so it's more useful. Like it's more handy. Like I want to ask something,
Yes.
and
Oh, yes, thank you. I wanted to call out that again. It isn't available in the PMI mobile app. Not all the features, like the agents, are not available at the moment. So it's more the main chat experience and the prompt library that are available. But yes, it's on at your fingertips, as we want to say. So if you need to access it on the go and ask it a question, yeah, download the mobile app and you'll have access to Infinity there. All right, we're getting very close to the end, and it's also
yes.
almost 8 p.m. for
We are in
those of us
time,
here in
Christina. Good
Romania. Yeah.
PMs. Yes.
Great planning, Daniela. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina, once again for your presence here. And we are waiting the new features. Thank you everyone for being
Amazing.
with us at this hour. Thank you also for taking the feedback form from the chat. We want to improve our events. Tomorrow we'll have the third one for this month, and we will see each other also in December. And we are preparing also 2026. Thank you again, everyone. Have a good night, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.